Fuck! Fuck! Fuck!
Oh, you stupid motherfucker!
You're gonna find me dead! I'm gonna kill myself!
Hit the fucking guy! What the fuck is he doing?
I'm gonna be hanging from the bathroom!
They got the leg!
Don't ask me to do nothing! This is nothing!
Hello. Welcome back to another episode of the Steel Here podcast, where I'm your host, Kevin Adams, alongside my partner in crime, Jersey Jerry. Jerry Don, that's not the start we thought we were going to get out of the Pittsburgh Steelers on Sunday.
No, I mean, not at all. You know, I was thinking about it. I don't know why we got our hopes up. I mean, I know why, but at the same time, I say to myself, the last, decade, nothing has changed, really. I mean, sure, the players have changed, but the way Pittsburgh Steelers do business has not changed. They have yet to adapt, what the NFL is now. You see the perfect example of what the NFL is now is the Miami Dolphins and Chargers game. Mm-hmm. Whoever scores the most points is going to win. It's that simple. Mm-hmm. You need a great offense. You don't need a good defense. And the Steelers are stuck in their old ways. They pay the whole defense all this money. They get rolled over week after week. There's one guy that shows up on defense every week. We all know who that guy is right there. And then you have just an offense that Steelers just don't score points. I mean, ever since Ben and AB, ever since that duo separated, the Steelers just don't score points. I mean, they're going to score less than 20 every week.
Jerry Don, last year on this show, we would say every single fucking week, Matt Canada needs to go. I have been saying this since before Kenny came in. After Ben's year, you knew Kenny was coming in, start over with a rookie quarterback. You do not go with a guy like Matt Canada. I'm going to read you some of these statistics, Jerry, because this is some of the most embarrassing stuff that the Pittsburgh Steelers, yes, they're stuck in their ways. Jerry, it's costing us every single season at this point. And Mike Tomlin, for all the good things we've said about him yet again this offseason, this still comes back to his lap, Jerry. Highest paid defense in football. Highest paid defense in football. Yet again, we can't stop anybody. If our defense looked like the Niners, I wouldn't give a shit if it was the highest paid defense. That's what it's supposed to look like.
Yeah. The thing is this is, okay, I want to talk about offense first. Let's start with the offense.
Yes.
Kenny did not look right. I don't know what it was. I don't know if nerves first game of the year, going into your second year, maybe it was a defense he hasn't seen before. He did say in the presser that his reads were fine. He knew what the defense was giving him, what they weren't giving him. I think the timing was off a little bit. But another thing I want to say, and I'm not trying to, not talk about Kenny, but for a second, I want to talk about Najee Harris. I mean, that guy is. Listen. I don't think I don't know if he could play in the NFL. I just don't know. Now I'll get back to Kenny Pickett. He had a pretty rough game. No. Listen, Jerry, be real. He had a rough game, and I am okay with that because I understand he's going into his second year. I am not okay with scoring 7 points. That I'm not okay with. And I can't say, well, he played the Niners defense. Obviously, he was under pressure. He played better under pressure.
Yep.
The stats came out. He was excellent under pressure. I don't know. I just don't know exactly what it was. He had a whole offseason to work with Deontay. He worked with Pat, worked with George, Connor Hayward, all those guys, Calvin Austin. I say this, and I'm just being a real fan. After the blow to Deontay Johnson and Cam Hayward, I have no problem. Listen, my thing was from the jump. Kenny's going to play 4 or 5 years. Mm-hmm. That's our quarterback for the next 4 or 5 years, unless he's completely trash this whole year and next year, which I don't think he will be. But he's got 4 years in the system, right? I think the Steelers roster is built now to win. Clearly, it's not though. I just don't know if that's just Matt Canada. If I'm Kenny, and I don't know if he's we're friendly, but I don't know if he's this type of person. I don't think he is. I don't think he'll ever publicly say something negative about Matt Canada. Maybe he really likes him. I don't know. But hey, if you're not happy, if you don't like the play calls, if you're just not on the same page as your offensive coordinator, you have to say something. Maybe we're just crazy and we don't see it like that, and we're just fans and we're overreacting to things. But I mean, George Pickens just didn't get the ball. There was a play to Deontay Johnson that should have been an easy touchdown.
Yep.
There was a couple missed throws here and there. There was one really, really bad interception. Listen, Josh Allen, he's a playoff quarterback. Every single year he's in the playoffs. He turns the ball over a lot. I would be okay with turning the ball over if the team can score 30 points a game. I'd be fine. If the Steelers scored 30 points a game, right, I would be fine with Kenny Pickett throwing 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions every single game. That would be fine to me.
Right.
But we can't turn the ball over because we just can't score. At one point in the first half, the Niners had 199 yards total on offense. The Steelers had 1. That is disgusting.
You could feel it in the stadium. I mean, you could feel it in the stadium. After the opening drive, they come out, they throw a little 6-yard curl to George Pickens' left side, and then the second play of the game, Matt Canada runs a jet sweep to the most obvious guy on the field in Calvin Austin. The play gets blown up in front. I look over at Nick, who's our producer, and I'm like, this is it. We're fucked. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. Matt Canada is still inept. So, yes.
What was that?
I don't know what the fuck that was.
Is your garage open?
That scared the fucking shit out of me. I don't know. I don't know what that was.
Jesus, it's probably the ghost of Canada.
See, fuck, that scared the shit out of me. But I'm not getting off this train right now. Did Kenny play good? No, he played bad. He didn't play very good football. He made some bad throws. He made some bad reads. He had some open guys. But it's hard for me to fully figure out if Kenny had a bad day or if there were a lot of times the O-line was not good. I mean, the O-line was not good. They got pushed back up several yards. He always had someone in his face. And regardless of whether or not he did play better under pressure, he shouldn't have to be under pressure as much as he is. It's hard for a quarterback to get in a rhythm whenever he was under that much pressure. Two things.
Dan Moore got abused.
Terrible. Let me read you the O-line PFF grades. Now, we know I'm not a huge PFF fan, but there is some stock in it. They watch the game back. They have some sort of grading system. Here were the grades. Dan Moore Jr., 33.7. Samala, 40.1. Isaac Samala, we were supposed to get a monster, and apparently his worst grade last year was also against the Niners. So maybe he just doesn't play San Francisco well. Mason Cole, 49.2. James Daniels, 54.3. Chooks, a 60.6. Broderick Jones played 4 snaps, and he was a 63.1.
I didn't even know Broderick Jones played.
Yeah, because Chooks got hurt, so they moved Dan Moore over to right tackle. Broderick Jones played left tackle for 4 snaps, 63.1. That's bad. And it's not just – Najee was also bad, but Najee also had no holes. I mean, the O-line was getting 3 and 4 yards into his face.
Yeah, I mean, I don't – honestly, I want to say this. The Steelers, they just missed with Najee. I mean – I don't know. Like, I don't know if it's the system he's in. I don't know if it's the wrong system. I don't want to say. I was a little disrespectful in saying that he can't play football. I don't know if it's the system, if he's not the right fit for the Steelers' offense, what they're trying to do, if it's the play calling, if it's the blocking. he looks slow to me. He looks slow. When I watch the TV, he looks slow.
He does look slow.
And
He got out in space and he couldn't get away. I mean, he's just not a
yeah,
fast running back.
Yeah, and dude, overall the game was especially. I mean, offensive side of the ball was a disaster, but I want to talk about the defense too. Like year after year, there's been one guy that shows up every single game, no matter what, and he is a game wrecker, and it's T.J. Watt. How do you get blown out like that when he has 2 forced fumbles and 3 sacks? How does that happen?
And a pass deflected. He had like 5 hurries. I mean, the guy is just, he's fucking unblockable, Jerry. He's unblockable. And the fact that the Browns lost Conklin, Jack Conklin here.
Yeah.
I mean, that you're talking about, I think it's the big boy from Ohio State, DeJuan Jones, that they took. He's a rookie. TJ is going to just embarrass him on Monday night, embarrass him at Acrisure Stadium. So, yeah, I mean,
TJ, at least we can count on one person who shows up to the game.
It's heartbreaking because a guy like him is so fucking good. He's paid. He knows he's here. He brings it 100% every single Sunday. And just, it feels as though nobody else on the defense gives the same respect to the level of competition as TJ is. Nobody else looks like they're bringing that type of fire. I hate to say this about Highsmith, but pedestrian. Where was he? You just made $18 million a season. Pedestrian. He had one nice blow up on a run play, tackle for loss, maybe 3-yard loss on the right side. That was it. Other than that, Nick Herbig looked better, rushing the passer. So
listen. Let's get this straight. You were in on Highsmith for the right number. You wanted him for the right number. I appreciate what he's done for Pittsburgh, all these last couple of years. I see it like he doesn't produce when TJ's on the field.
He just doesn't.
He just doesn't.
And the number wasn't 18. Probably was not a number I loved. I said specifically 15 or less. I would love. Whatever. He's here. I don't want to talk shit. It's one game. Maybe he'll be better. Let's talk terribly about him after 4 or 5 weeks if that's the case. But it's all of these other little things that add up that piss me off. It's that Pat Pete. What was the first thing I tweeted when we signed Pat Pete? That's Cole 5 years ago, but he's getting fucking old now. I said it on first episode of the second season when I was at training camp. I said Pat Pete he gets smoked off the line of scrimmage. I mean, you see it every single play. He's getting smoked off the line. And then we see it, Ayuk made Pat Pete his bitch. I mean, it was embarrassing how bad Pat Pete performed out there when he was lined up across from Ayuk. And Ayuk torched our secondary. We got gashed up the middle on the run game. McCaffrey, if there was a point in that
McCaffrey wasn't
game,
even running the ball outside the tackles.
No, right up the middle. Middle. I mean, just embarrassing us up the middle of the defense. And a lot of that is probably going to come back to Cam Hayward. I mean, you lose the big center of your defense, heart right there in Cam Hayward. There's going to be some issues. Keanu Benton, however, did have a pretty decent game, getting thrown to the Wolves like that immediately, knowing that Cam wasn't going to be in there. But other than that, there's just nothing. That defense is sad, man. We spend too much money. Mike Tomlin is a defensive-minded head coach. We have all that money locked up in it. You have a defensive player of the year candidate in TJ Watt, and it's just that pathetic. I mean, it was pathetic. They could not get off the fucking field. 3rd and 12, they're running the ball 12, 15 yards for first downs. I mean, it's the same stuff over and over every year, and nothing changes. And as fans, at what point, man? At what point can we expect something to change?
Well, I don't think nothing's going to really change much. I think that, I mean, who knows what type of Steelers team we're going to see, stepping on the field Monday night. I'm hoping it's a lot better, but you don't have Deontay Johnson. You don't have Cam Hayward. Those are extremely important pieces to the team.
Oh, man.
I mean, I guess Calvin Austin has to step up. Benton has to step up. TJ's going to do his thing, but I'm going to say this. Levi Wallace is not. He's not the guy.
Liability.
He is. I mean, this is 2 years now where we've seen it. He is. I think he's below average, dude.
Yeah, he's not
good. I don't really I think he's a competitor. There is some plays he can make, but I mean, I'd rather just throw Joey Porter Jr. out there and just see what he has.
Exactly. If that's what this is going to be, I don't want this to be another season where we waste half a year before you make the change. Like if that's ultimately what it's going to be, and you know that Levi Wallace is bottom middle talent, but slightly below middle talent, just give me JPJ. Just let's throw him to the
there's
fucking
no reason.
wall.
There's no reason. I mean, the Browns, right? I mean, they have Amari Cooper. I get that. Pat Pete, will probably be lined up on him. Who's the Browns' number 2?
Exactly.
Let Joey Porter Jr. go. Get a crack at it. See what he got.
That won't be why the Browns give us fits on Monday night. Christ, it sucks to even say this. Like
Nick Chubb is going to be a problem.
Nick Chubb's going to be a problem. 3 days ago, I would have said, Steelers definitely, if they lose to the Niners, which I honestly, gun to my head, would have said that they would have beat the Niners just based on what we saw in the preseason. They were fucking rolling. Everything looked good. We were clicking. And then we just come out and shit our diaper. But now it's like, I look at this Browns game and I'm like, fuck, man, we could start 0-2 quick. Like we could start 0-2 quick, and having lost both at home to start the season, then you have to go on the road to Oakland where they start their fucking season in week 3. That's their first home game.
Yes.
I mean, man, it could get slippery fucking quick. And so that's Monday night is starting to look like it could be a very early must win. That's so stupid to say week 2, but it looks that way, Jerry.
Oh yeah. I mean, the back half of the schedule isn't super easy. I mean, the Steelers have to bank these games that they're supposed to win. I would say the Niners game,
we weren't supposed to win.
We weren't supposed to win that game.
We got a little too high on ourselves after that preseason.
The Browns game, Kenny already beat Deshaun Watson. There's no reason he can't beat him again.
Agreed.
So that should be a win for us. That should be a win. I'm expecting a win Monday night. Now the Steelers go out there, lay an egg again, 0-2. There's some questions to be asked, and we need some answers. Like, hey, the Steelers go out and they put up 7 points. What is going on?
What is going on? You guys want to hear a stat? Under Matt Canada's offense, the Steelers have only scored 20 points 9 out of 36 games. 9 out of 36 games.
Under Ben too, right?
One out of 4. That's 20. Yeah, that's since 2021. So you're talking last season, the season before, and now game 1 of the 3rd season. So we had one with a Hall of Fame quarterback. They've only scored 20 plus 9 times. Okay, 9 times. Scored 1 touchdown or less in half of the games. 9 out of 18 games. They scored one touchdown or less in 9 of their last 18 games. Held under 20 points or less in 13 of their last 18 games. Haven't gained 400 plus yards on offense since he started. Not one time since Matt Canada has been the Pittsburgh Steelers offensive coordinator have they moved the ball for more than 400 yards on offense. That's with Hall of Fame Ben Roethlisberger, with Kenny and Mitch last year, and now starting this season, he's never had 400 yards. That's not the worst part. Of all the teams in the NFL, this Steelers, all other teams have done it at least 3 times. Some have done it as many as 9.
Yeah, and the Steelers have done it 0.
0. The next closest is 3.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, I just look around and I see, like, regardless of who you're a fan of, you can't say George Pickens is not talented, because he is. You can't say Deontay Johnson is a bad wide receiver, because he's not. You can't say Pat Freiermuth is a bad tight end, because he's not.
Right.
You really can't say, Calvin Austin is bad because we've seen his explosiveness. What is it? Darnell Washington's out there pushing around Nick Bosa. What is the problem?
We know what the problem is. It's Matt Canada. It was the same fucking problem it was last year. It's the same problem it was with Ben. Jerry, the only time our offense showed any bit of life on Sunday was whenever it was the 2-minute offense going into halftime. Kenny was calling the line, calling the plays at the line, dicing them up and down the field, completing the ball. He looked good. That's the only time we saw Kenny look like Kenny. That's the only fucking time. Now, granted, maybe the Niners were in their fucking 2-minute prevent defense, but I find that hard to believe based on how pissed off Shanahan was at halftime. If you heard his comments, he's like, we played 28 great minutes of football and we played like shit for 2 minutes. So I just think that we looked better because Kenny was free at the line of scrimmage. So you said that if the run game is going to suck, if Najee's not going to be good, that's going to hurt Kenny, because all that means is these teams can just drop backers into the middle of the fucking defense, and we can't do anything then. Kenny has to. So he played better whenever you rush him. You know why? Because he's going to find the mismatches when you rush him. It's a lot harder to find mismatches when you drop 8 guys into coverage and he has to find a hole in that type of zone. When the routes are completely dog shit. At the end of the third quarter, roughly, it was 27 or it was 20 to 7 or something like that, 27-7 maybe. We had a 4th and goal from the 8-yard line. Okay, we ended up going for it. We could have made it a 13-point game. The route that was designed, 4 receiver set, the route that was designed were 4 verticals. Nobody slicing across the middle of the field, no curls, nothing. 4 fucking verticals from the 8-yard line. That's the play where Kenny throws it to Muth and everyone's like, where the fuck's he throwing the football? Nobody knew. That's the play design. You saw Dan Orlovsky today tweet something like, the Pittsburgh Steelers need to stop running the same offensive scheme over and over and over and over and over. This is the national media, guys. Everybody sees this, Jerry Don. Everybody. We've seen it for years, yet it doesn't change. Nothing changes if nothing fucking changes, man.
I wonder what kind of dirt Matt Canada has on Mike Tomlin or the Steelers organization.
It's just crazy. It's crazy. Is it the Roonies that they don't want to not, pay their coaches? I'm tired of having this conversation. This was all last year. This was all fucking last year. We had the same fucking conversation on this show because nothing changes, man. It's fucking maddening. You have all that talent, you can't move the football.
No, I was really going into this year saying, like, to myself, we have probably like a 3-year window right now, 3-4 year window to win something, to win a Super Bowl, win a fucking AFC Championship game. It just doesn't look like it. I mean, I know it's early and maybe we're overreacting. It's week 1. I don't know, but hey, man. I'd be much, much happier if the Niners put up 40 points and we put up 24 points.
I agree. I'm tired. Here's the issue, Jerry. It doesn't mean shit how good our defense is or how bad our defense is if our offense just can never score points. We know in this league, you want to win a fucking Super Bowl. We've said it time and time again on this show. You need to average 27 points or more. That is the standard to Super Bowl winning teams of the last 16 seasons. Now they've averaged 27 points or more. If you can't get to 27, I don't give a fuck how good your defense is, how much money they make.
Look at the Jets last night. What they did to Josh Allen and the Bills' high-powered offense. Look what they did. They shut him down, bro.
Look what the Cowboys did to the Giants.
Yeah, I mean, if you could shut a team like that down, fine. Score your fucking 16, 20 points a game. I don't care.
We can't do it, though.
They can't do it. They just can't do it. The offense, and it's a shame, but, I give a little more slack to the defense because they have to be on the field for so much more.
Right.
Because the offense just doesn't get first down. They don't move the ball. There was no rhythm. So a part of me, I give a little bit of slack to the defense. Should they have got gashed like that? No. But I can only imagine what it's like to, McCaffrey's running down the fucking field on you every single play. You're banging at the line of scrimmage. The Niners go score 7. Offense gets the ball. They go 3 and out, and boom! What? A minute and a half later, you're back on the field. I mean, and it's tough to play defense like that.
It's tough to play defense like that. You should have heard what Trent Williams, the left tackle for the Niners, said. He said at one point, you just kind of wanted the Steelers to get a first down. There were all those 3 and outs, and we kind of needed a break. You have the fucking offensive lineman for the opposing team saying he hopes that the Steelers get a first down because they're tired of 3 and outs. And it ain't even just the fucking 3 and outs to get me fired up. That's just a repeat of last year that we saw over and over and over, and not being able to close in the red zone over and over and over. That's all some Matt Canada scheme shit. So that's why I'm not going to pin that shit on Kenny or the running backs or any of that stuff. Okay, because that is some scheme stuff. But there are players that the Steelers continue to ride with that suck. They just plain suck. Presley Harvin sucks, Jerry. This fucking guy can't punt. Can't punt a balloon, Jerry. This guy is a bum ass.
You think I look bad with no beard? You should see Presley Harvin on a football field.
It's just terrible.
The guy is dog shit. No. Listen, he is dog shit. He can't punt the ball. He punts the ball like 30 yards. I don't know if he's overweight and he can't lift his leg that high or something. He can't punt the ball. And it's been the same story for the last couple years now. You have to just bring in a free agent at this point.
It's
because
time.
He is bad, man. He is horrible.
You can't get worse punting average than we get from this guy. For every 55-yard punt where he flips the field, he has 3 that go 30 yards and shanks out of bounds, man. And then you're asking the defense to then defend a short field against an elite offense like the Niners, coming off of a 3-and-out where they're already fucking gassed. Can we ever make the defense not have to defend inside of their own zone when they first get on the field? So again, some of that comes back to it was just a very bad team game across the board. All the notes we had, Jerry, these were all the things that I wanted to say. Utter disappointment. Kenny wasn't good. Offense wasn't good. O-line was terrible, especially Dan Moore. Harvin was dog water. Najee wasn't good. Pat Pete wasn't good. There are some bright spots, though. McFarland looked pretty good on kick returns. Kick returns, Anthony McFarland looked good. I was honestly very pleased with that. We were getting the ball advanced beyond the 30, several times when he had the ball. There were some bright spots. TJ, McFarland, but it wasn't much else other than that, man. Wasn't much else other than that. Everyone was frustrated. You saw George Pickens liking the post after the game that said he doesn't have a quarterback that can get him the ball. Yeah,
and what was the line I set on the unsportsmanlike conduct penalties?
8.5.
Well, he has 1, so he's on pace for 16, 17 of them.
8.5. The George Pickens, the GP unsportsmanlike counter is at 1 after 1 game. So the over is already out of the gate hot.
What did he say on the bench?
He said, "I love it here, man, but this shit ain't it."
He said, see, I didn't know. I was on Twitter much today or yesterday, so I didn't get to see.
You read his lips. You read his lips. He says, "I love it here, man, but this shit ain't it."
I mean, hey, man, listen, I can't blame players anymore, man. I can't blame the players. I mean, as much as they must love playing for Coach Tomlin, at the end of the day, these guys are competitors. Bro.
They want to win.
They want to win. They want to make money. They want to produce because they want to make money. So you got a guy like George Pickens who's probably saying to himself, like, hey, if this is what it's going to be for the next 4 years, 4 years while I'm here, I'm going to be a free agent, and teams are going to be like, oh, I'm not paying that guy. He didn't really do much in Pittsburgh. You know what I mean?
And what is something that kind of sucks that I've thought about, pretty extensively since Sunday. In the last season and then, the home opener against the Niners, the Steelers have played probably 4 or 5 Super Bowl caliber football teams. We played the Bills, we played the Eagles, we played the Bengals a few times, we just played the Niners. We've gotten blown out by those teams every single game except one of the Bengals games. We've gotten blown away by those teams every single time. Yeah. So for as much as you say that they must love playing for Coach Tomlin, and I'm sure they do, every guy we've talked to on this show, every guy we've talked to off of the camera has told us the same things. They love playing for Coach Tomlin. He fires them up, he gets them revved up. Okay, that's all good and well, but we're not getting any better in these big games. We get out schemed, we get out coached, we don't make adjustments. It's the same results. It's because it's the same stuff that we're putting on film every time. So
yeah, you know what that stat tells me that you just said? That just tells me how far away the Steelers are from winning a Super Bowl.
And that's what hurts. That's what hurts me the most after that game on Sunday. It's not just that we got fucking spanked and it's the home opener and we're only 0-1 to start the season. It's that we're just so not close yet. Like, we're just so not even in the same vicinity of a Super Bowl caliber football team. Yeah. If we're going to get out coached like that and then, just embarrassed at home opener, chalk it up week 1, man, week 1, but it's got to be better against the Browns. Yeah. Otherwise, I don't know how people can continue to defend what the Steelers put out there.
And listen, one thing I will say, and online, the story is, just like it is every time the Steelers lose a game, Kenny Pickett's trash, Kenny Pickett's terrible. I will say this, like, he looks very, very mad after a loss. Like, that must eat at him so much. I expect him to bounce back. I expect him to figure something out. I expect him, honestly, I think he is this type of guy where if nothing is changing by like week 8, week 9, or something like that, I would expect him to talk to Tomlin, talk to Rooney's, and say, hey, man, this ain't working out. This Canada experiment's not working out. I'm not happy. We're not scoring points. I know I have the talent. I know we have playmakers. Defenses know exactly what we're doing every single fucking play. It's the same song and dance. I would expect him, as much as a gamer that we know he is. He's a competitor, one of the hungriest guys in the NFL, because you've seen it in the offseason. He works out every single day. He took a week off, and that was it the whole entire offseason. You know he wants to win. I mean, he looks so pissed off in his press conferences. I would expect for him to be that type of guy that halfway through the season, if it's not working out, I would expect him to say something.
He's going to have to at some point if it ends up continuing to be what it is. But let's just hope, honestly, it was week 1. We were a little too high on ourselves. We got our fucking dicks blown off simply because, we just aren't on that level yet. It's a long season, though. I've watched the Steelers lose week 1 before and then go all the way to the Super Bowl. So I don't want to say
you know what this is set up to be? I'm telling you what the story is going to be this season now. Steelers, first half of the year, they're going to probably be, 2-6 or 3-5 or something like that, around that area, right? And all of a sudden, Deontay Johnson, Cam Hayward come back. They win a bunch of games. They're in the playoff hunt at the end. Tomlin doesn't have a losing season. They might barely make the playoffs, or they might just miss the playoffs. That's exactly what's going to happen. It's going to be the same thing again.
And here's the thing. If it is, and Matt Canada returns again, I'm fucking done. I will be done if that ends up being the case, where the offense is still just held back. We don't average more than 20 points again, but they get it going late in the year. If it's a repeat of 2022 again, I'm fucking done. Scorched earth. I am done.
I would cancel the tailgate if I was you.
I mean, man, I love the tailgate, man. We had Vince Williams there on Sunday, Jerry. We had almost 500 people.
You should cancel it. You should cancel it. If Matt Canada returns next year and the Steelers play like crap the rest of the year, you should cancel it.
Just boycott
you don't deserve a tailgate at that point.
Me? I would do anything to have the right OC out there. I mean, it is what it is, Jerry. If they come out, though, on Monday night and they beat the shit out of the Browns, which they're capable of doing. We're familiar with the Browns. We're capable of beating that football team. That's just going to come down to heart. That's going to come down to heart on Monday night. So if they come out and beat them and we're 1-1 going to Oakland or Las Vegas, I feel a lot better about this thing again, because then you got a shitty Houston team in week 4. You could get something fucking going there, but we have to win Monday night against the Browns. So let's look at, what are the betting lines here? Let's take a look at what the line is. So the over-under on the game is 39.5. The Steelers are a +2.5. Let's look at the bet of the week now, Jerry Don. So to recap last season, I beat Jerry overall in the betting. He owes me front row seats to a road game this season. We discussed possibly Indianapolis.
Yeah, that's a cheap one I could afford.
And it's not far from where Jerry is located. It's about halfway between Jerry and I, so we can get there. What are you looking at on Sunday, Jerry Don? What bet are you taking?
I mean, I got no business taking this bet. I really don't. There's just no way, George. I mean, there is a way. There is a way, because Steelers don't score points on offense. I would expect a George Pickens touchdown.
Anytime touchdown scorer, George Pickens.
Yeah, because no Deontay Johnson. Kenny's going to have to force feed him the ball. I mean, I would go with a George Pickens touchdown. And you know what else? I'm going to bet this, but this ain't going to be for the show. I'm going to expect Darnell Washington to have a lot bigger of a role.
He should.
So I think he can get some red zone targets for a touchdown.
So your official bet is going to be Pickens anytime touchdown score.
Yes, but I'm going to sprinkle a little bit on Darnell Washington, because those odds are going to be pretty good, and I feel like the Steelers are going to try to switch it up a little bit, maybe have some mismatches with Darnell Washington down in the red zone.
I personally am going to take the under 39.5 points. These games are always tight. We know them well. I think TJ fucking goes bananas. Them not having Conklin like we hit on earlier. I think TJ has a day. I tweeted the guy could have 5 sacks, but sadly we might need him to have 10. I just don't see the Steelers until they show me that they can put up 25, 30 points, until they prove that to me. I'm going to just take the unders. They just don't score. They just simply do not fucking score. And I think the defense is more capable of getting it together faster than the offense is, personally.
Yes, 100%.
So it just sets up for an under game, in my opinion. Under 39.5 is my bet this week. I mean, there's just nothing else that I would look at that I even feel confident betting. Now, granted, we're going to have Jeff Reed at the tailgate Monday night. The Steelers haven't lost a Monday night football game at home since like 1994, for fuck's sake. So there's a lot on the line here. I'm going to probably be pretty lit up. By about 7:45, I get inside that stadium. I might hammer the Steelers to score fucking over 39.5. But for the show's sake, it's under 39.5.
Yeah, I like it.
Jerry, what do you think of this? What do you think of this crew neck?
It's nice. I got the same one.
Very nice. Very nice. The guys over at Zed's, they came to the tailgate on Sunday, Jerry. So they were at the terrible tailgate. Zed's boys stopped by. They're good dudes, man. They're so excited about the show. When I was talking to Vince Williams at the tailgate, he said he wants to hop on the show with us, so he's going to give us an episode, break down some of the game. Good. So yeah, we appreciate the guys over at Zed's. You're gonna have to check them out. Go to Shop Zed's. You're gonna see it on Instagram. And then Jerry, that piece of memorabilia behind you, where do you think you could find something like that at?
TSC. You could find this at TSC. One of the best Steelers memorabilia, I would say. They got everything you need. Helmets, cards, gloves, footballs, you name it, they got it. Best in the business. Shout out to Pete. Good, solid dude. The dad. All good dudes over there. I'll be having actually, once my basement gets done, I'll have a dedicated wall down here to all like Steelers memorabilia from them. So that'll be really awesome to show off.
Yep, that's shoptse.com, Total Sports Enterprises. Hop on over there if you need any memorabilia. It won't be long before it's the holiday season, so make sure you remember those guys whenever it comes to shopping for some Christmas gifts. Jerry Don, are the Steelers going to win on Sunday?
No.
On Monday. Are they going to win on Monday?
No.
They start 0-2. Jerry Don thinks they start 0-2.
I do. I think they will get it together eventually. But I feel like they're really, really out of touch right now. I think it's going to be a couple weeks struggle. Sure, do I want them to win? Yes, I do, as bad as anybody else. But when I look at it, I say to myself, I just don't think they can stop Nick Chubb. No Cam Hayward, right? Deontay Johnson going down is big. So they're really thin right now, wide receiver wise, defensively. At that position, especially. What happens if Benton needs a breather? Who's playing?
Oh, we're in trouble. So they're going to have to bring up Fehoko. Our boy, friend of the show, Braden Fehoko, he's going to have to get called up here because you need a legitimate.
I thought they released him.
Nose tackle. They signed him to the practice squad.
They did.
Re-signed him to the practice squad. Yeah.
Okay.
So that'd
be cool to see.
They'll have to bring him up. I mean, they're going to need a legitimate run-stuffing nose tackle without Cam in there. Benton's going to have to play better. DeMarvin Leal's going to have to play better. Landon Roberts, you're going to see more of him, filling up the holes on the line. It's going to take a total team effort to replace what Cam gives us. I also really hope that they get Keanu Neal up to speed faster so that Minka can go back to more of a free safety, roaming around position because we're going to need him to come up in order to help stop Nick Chubb. He's the safety.
From the Falcons?
Keanu Neal, he plays safety for us, Jerry.
He's on the Steelers?
Yes, Jerry Don.
I don't know when that happened.
Oh, come on. Him and Casey, remember?
That's the guy from the Falcons?
Yeah, they both played for the Falcons.
I know Casey did. I'm saying I remember Keanu Neal being on the Falcons. But
yeah, he played.
He was a Steeler.
Yeah, oh, Jerry, this house has ruined you, Jerry Don.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to clip that out. We'll clip that out.
Nah, you can keep it in. I don't care.
I mean, it's gonna take a total team effort here on Monday night, but I do I'm not out on them yet. I think Kenny genuinely has a bounce back game this week. I think it's the first time he throws for 2 touchdowns. And I'm pretty confident in saying that. I would look into what the line is on Kenny Pickett throwing for 2 touchdowns. I think we just play better. I don't think TJ is going to let us lose. Not going against a rookie slob ass right tackle. I think TJ is going to fucking eat. And it's going to create a turnover. Deshaun Watson doesn't play the Steelers well. He didn't look good last year in week 17. He didn't look good when he played for Houston against the Steelers. TJ beats him up. And so yeah. I think collectively we got our asses beat so badly. We're going to find out who we really are on Monday night. I think they're going to have a bounce back game. And I really do believe it will be a tight game, something like 24-17, something right around there, 21-20. I could see being the final score. So I think that the Steelers end up winning this game, though. I just think Kenny has a better game. I refuse to believe we're going to go into another season 0-2. I don't want to. My heart won't let me say it.
I mean, your heart might not, but my heart will say it. I think they do go 0-2. Not only do I think they go 0-2.
You think the Raiders get them then again as well?
Depending on how the Steelers play, they can start the season 0-3.
0-3.
They could. I mean, it's not out of the question. I mean, they look bad against the Browns. It's going to be very hard for them to get up for that game, week 3. That stadium's going to be rocking in Vegas. Garoppolo didn't look terrible.
No, he didn't.
He didn't look terrible. That Jacoby Myers is a football player.
He's a stud.
Devontae Adams is a football player. Max Crosby, Josh Jacobs. Those dudes are dogs, bro.
We just beat them last year, though. It's just going to come down to Garoppolo, and also the weather was terrible in Pittsburgh. But Cleveland. Let's just 1 week at a time. We beg all season to get football here. I don't want to skip an entire week. I say they beat the Browns. Jerry says they lose to the Browns. I'm taking the under 39.5. Jerry is taking a George Pickens anytime touchdown scorer. A little side nugget I would say to look at would be Kenny to throw for 1+ touchdowns. Jerry would say a little side nugget, a Darnell Washington anytime touchdown scorer. All right, Jerry Don. I am done talking about it. It's been a sad week. We will see you guys here again next week. Jerry and I are going to try and get an interview for you here next week. It was just we got blown away so bad. There was just nothing we really even wanted to talk about. We didn't want to bring anyone else in here and have to, live in that misery with them. So we appreciate you guys. Like, comment, subscribe. The numbers have been absolutely incredible as far as the show is concerned. Between both Twitter and YouTube, you guys are killing it for us. Make sure you comment, subscribe, like the podcast on Twitter, retweet it wherever you see it. We appreciate the shit out of you guys, and we'll see you here next week.
We're here. We're still here.
We are still here.